news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Gold opened at $1,313 on Friday. Silver opened the day at $15.60, and Bitcoin was trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, input from the Southern Poverty Law Center plays a role in PayPal's blacklist decisions. Confirmation came during a recent Wall Street Journal interview with PayPal CEO Dan Schulman. In the interview, Schulman told the newspaper the SPLC is among groups both on the right and left that helped PayPal make the decision to ban certain accounts. Schulman claims the company does a careful examination of the information provided, saying that while the SPLC has brought things, PayPal doesn't always agree, but apparently utilizes the controversial organization's input in some aspect of the decision-making process. According to a report from the Daily Caller, PayPal is not alone in SPLC involvement, as Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Twitter also look to the SPLC for input. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at myBraveBotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% on your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Your news now continues. As the remaining pockets of ISIS fighters faced imminent defeat in northeast Syria, the United States allegedly gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. Give us your massive caches of gold or die. The Free Thought Project, citing reports by Syrian state news agency SANA, reports that U.S. forces struck a deal with ISIS, whereby the terrorist group would give up 50 tons of gold in exchange for safe passage. The precious metal, worth about $2.13 billion, was plundered by the self-designated Caliphate, as its reign of terror spread across Syria and Iraq from 2015 to 2017. Turkish newspaper Daily Sabah reports that local sources claim U.S. Army helicopters have already transferred the gold from the U.S. forces base in Kobani, the Kurdish-controlled city that lies close to Syria's northern border with Syria. A portion of the gold was also distributed to the Kurdish People's Protection Units, which dominates the U.S. allied Syrian Democratic Forces. Saudi Arabia has stripped citizenship from Hamza bin Laden, the son of slain al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The Interior Ministry said in a statement published by the official gazette, Al-Qura. The U.S. State Department on Thursday said it was offering a reward up to $1 million for information leading to the identification or location in any country of Hamza, seeing him as an emerging face in his father's organization. The anti-media reports that the location of Hamza bin Laden has been the subject of speculation for years, with reports of him living in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, or under house arrest in Iran. Osama bin Laden was stripped of his citizenship in 1994. The junior bin Laden, who according to the United States is around 30 years old, has threatened attacks against the U.S. to avenge the 2011 killing of his father, who was living in hiding in Pakistan by U.S. Special Forces. Support for Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
College roommates continue their bonding process until real friends are made, and a teacher hopes they never Google him. It's time for the weekly video feature that's heartier and more comforting than a heaping bowl of mom's butternut squash soup. This is the Onion Week in Review. Longtime James F. Blaine Elementary School teacher Suzanne Pomponio told reporters today that she could not believe how much fatter her second graders are getting. Pomponio estimates that each and every one of her kids must be 8 to 10 pounds heavier than anyone in her 2011 class, adding, quote, "and those kids were pretty fat too."
Honestly, I didn't think it was possible that this year's kids could be fatter than last year's, but they are. I mean, short kids are fat, tall kids are fat, and there's a smell. I don't really know how to describe it.
Local dad Michael Carrain navigated several discount travel websites today with a precision reminiscent of 18th century Viennese prodigy Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composing a symphony.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And live Saturday edition, we also have our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open. They're available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Mark is back from Mexico from a whole month.
Yeah, I was
down
gone
in Central America.
Yeah, in Mexico for the month of February. And it is nice, I've got to say, to get the heck out of New Hampshire for the month of February.
I missed New Hampshire.
I missed New Hampshire too, but
I was only gone for 12 days, and it felt like too long to be gone.
It's cold.
Yeah. It is a little chilly up here. That's definitely true. My foot was losing circulation earlier as I was walking the dog. So anyway, we're here for you. You can call in. You can bring up anything you want. We're going to start out tonight with this idea of civil war, that it's coming back to the United States, and it's actually hitting the news. LMT Online looks like maybe Laredo, Texas area. Actually, they're syndicating a Washington Post story, and we've had people call in to suggest on this show that they believe that there is going to be a civil war. Now, getting them to kind of identify who the sides are in that civil war, things get a little bit
dicey.
Yeah.
I mean, is the South going to rise again? Is it the Republicans versus the Democrats? Is it the white people versus everybody else? You never know what somebody's pushing,
they're imagining
when they're pushing this civil war idea. And to me, it sounds ludicrous. I would agree that the political system in this country is so divisive. It's just too much at this point for the average person to put up with, and they throw their hands in the air and say, "Screw it, I don't care anymore." And that's when people get these ideas of war. It certainly looks like the two sides, and there's always just two sides in these arguments, it seems. The two sides just can't get along. I was thinking today, by the way, who is the party of high IQ? Because we're told that the both sides, there's always a difference between the Republicans, the Democrats, the liberals, and the conservatives. You pick which one's the side of high IQ. Because I'm on that side.
Libertarians are pretty smart.
Well, yeah, you've picked it. The answer is the Libertarian Party, the third most popular party in the United States. The IQs of the voters and of the the people that they run for office tends to be significantly higher, but nobody listens.
But
to
wait,
them.
has anybody actually studied that?
Yeah, somebody studied.
Somebody
it.
has. They've actually looked and they've tested IQs of Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians.
That's correct.
Huh? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was just speculating.
Well, I read it. I can go, hunt it down for you in the break.
Well, what was the results between Republicans and Democrats?
It was about the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Normal. What would you expect? I mean, they got dumb people, they got smart people on both sides.
At a moment when the country has never seemed angrier, two political commentators from opposite sides of the divide concurred last week on one point. Nearly unthinkable until recently, the country is on the verge of civil war. The first came former U.S. Attorney Joseph DeNova. A Fox News regular and ally of President Trump saying, quote, "We are in a civil war," he said. Further, quote, "The suggestion that there's ever going to be civil discourse in this country for the foreseeable future is over. It's going to be total war." Now, to suggest that civil war is going to happen suggests that actual violence is going to break out, that there's going to be some sustained violence.
Right. Politics is a threat on your neighbor. That much is true.
For sure.
Yeah. Anytime you employ the political process, you're willing to point guns at somebody and kill them over whatever the issue is that's at hand.
If you're trying to get your way, that is. I mean, some people try to get, out of the... They try to use politics to avoid having guns pointed at them. They try to lessen the scope of government.
But that's still pointing a gun at somebody and saying, "Don't point a gun at me." Right?
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying it's immoral, because it's not.
Well,
you can pull a gun on somebody who's pulled a gun on you, but the government is a gun. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when the Green New Deal or the moral majority, I don't care who your side is, it's pulling a gun out of your waistband, sticking it in your neighbor's face and saying, "You're not going to eat that hamburger," or "You're going to believe in Jesus Christ and we're shutting down this strip club," or whatever it is. That's what it's all about. Because... when you employ the government, you employ the police. The police are people with guns. When somebody disobeys the police,
they will kill them if
they
necessary.
will ultimately, if necessary, kill them in the line of their duty.
It's sick. And it's something that, we all learned in preschool was not acceptable behavior.
Well, no, we learned that it's highly acceptable to the point that we normalize that behavior.
Well, no. We learned that you're not supposed to hurt your neighbor in preschool. You're not supposed to attack your friends that are the other people, even if they're not your friends, running around on the playground. We got this pretty early on. But what happened was the political process obscures the violence.
Yes.
Because people don't want to see the guns. While at some level they acknowledge the police have guns, they believe that, as long as they're good people and law-abiding, the guns won't be used against them. And, of course, as long as you do what you're told, as long as you pay what you're told to pay, as long as you jump through the hoops you're told to jump through, the guns won't come out.
Right. You're free. You're free to do exactly as we tell you. As long as you do exactly as we tell you, you live in the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It's true.
Obey, free person.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this amazing dichotomy that slides around in Americans' minds, and they simply can't see it.
It's sad stuff, and let's get back to the story here, because we're not going to end the coercive state tonight, unfortunately. So, he says there's going to be total war. The next day, Nicole Wallace, former Republican operative turned MSNBC commentator and Trump critic, played a clip of DeGenova's commentary on her show and agreed with him, although she placed the blame squarely on the president. Trump, she said, quote, "greenlit a war in this country around race. And if you think about the most dangerous thing he's done, that might be it." What exactly? Now, look, I'm a critic of Trump, too. Okay, I'll try to compliment him if he does the right thing, and every now and then he does. But he's done plenty of things that are terrible, like killing innocent people in the Middle East, like his predecessors had done. But what did Trump do to greenlight a war around race exactly? Because weren't there race, kind of fueled riots going on during the Obama administration as well?
Yeah, I don't know. This is the narrative. So the Trump derangement syndrome, and I've tried my very best not to get involved in this. I didn't vote for Trump. Trump wasn't my guy by any stretch of the imagination. But I have grown to like him more simply because I feel like some of his policies make sense. Some of his policies are stupid. The idea of building a wall is dumb. You can't just build a $5 billion wall and leave it and not expect it to get torn apart. Yeah. I mean, they'll be at it with wire cutters and angle saws, the next day. Don't be stupid. It's a waste of money. You might call it a symbol, but I don't need your $5 billion symbol. Build a $1 million statue to Trump made out of gold in New York City. He'll be very happy. They'll be your symbol. Fine. But, when it comes to...
But that doesn't make him a racist. That's just wrong for him to advocate building a wall. It's
the idea is that he has said bad things about Mexicans and that, Mexicans are a race, which, of course, they're not. They're a nationality. Yeah. There's all different races in Mexico, and they have different ideas. Different people in Mexico have different ideas about the races in Mexico.
Imagine that.
Right. Surprise, surprise. They've got their own ethnic issues in Mexico. so no, Trump doesn't display anything other than sort of an older person's, like the older you get, the less people are willing to give you as any sympathy around race. So if you, like my father, who was one of the least racist guys I ever knew, he had, black guys would come out to the house and work in a time frame that people would not do that. He was the president of the union, and, he had black guys and white guys, and everybody got their vote and all that stuff. But he would use the term colored person.
Yeah.
And it was an old term.
He's older.
Yeah, he was an older guy, and they used an older term. And,
my grandmother did that, and she wasn't a racist.
Right. I prefer to use the term black.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's shorter than American of sub-Saharan African descent. One syllable versus like a dozen. And
plus, we had a guy call in and tell us, a black guy called in once and told us that was his preference too.
Right. Well, I mean,
So I was like, okay, that's good enough for me.
But he doesn't get to say for the, he doesn't get to represent a race. And by the way, some people claim that, some people are parts of races and some people aren't. Who knows?
Plus, African American doesn't make sense anyway because there's South Africans like Carla Garrick, the former president of the Free State Project. She's a white lady. She's African American. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 Items You Must Have to Survive a Crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Smart Cash is a peer-to-peer digital currency that is fast, secure, and easy to use. Smart Cash is building a foundation that can support daily transactions for people everywhere. One feature that sets Smart Cash apart is the Smart Hive governance model and how the community can vote to fund the best projects with block rewards stored in the Smart Hive project treasury. Unlike other cryptocurrencies with voting systems, Smart Cash allows everyone to participate. One smart equals one vote. Learn more at smartcash.cc.
Free Talk Live.
I don't believe in homosexuality.
Should homosexuality be outlawed, Rita?
I think not only homosexuality, but prostitution and fornication.
Fornication?
Are you going to pass laws against people masturbating?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Would you pass laws against people masturbating, ma'am?
I'm very much offended that you would ask me such a question.
What, you can't answer a simple question?
Would you pass a law against people masturbating?
Sir,
I mean, you want to pass laws against two men having sex. I'm just asking you a question.
She said she wanted to pass law against fornication. That's just anybody having sex.
Anybody having sex.
Okay, Rita, let's say I have a fiancé and you overheard us having sex. Would you report us to the cops if there was a law against fornication?
You darn right, sir.
Yeah? How dare you?
How dare
you? Who do you think you are?
How dare you, sir? Who do you think you are?
How dare I have sex with a consenting adult?
On my own property?
You're a moral reprobate, and you're one of the ones who are helping to disintegrate this country.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've been talking about this idea of the so-called Civil War. There is a lot of heated rhetoric out there about this idea of a civil war. It's time for it's
the
happening.
Coming civil war.
It's on its way.
Not the existent one that happened in the past.
Yeah. So I want to get back into that discussion here. It's Ian and Mark in the studio, and we've got our Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. So feel free to reach out to us that way. You can talk about whatever you want. And I do want to welcome a couple brand new affiliates. It's actually been a really good week for new stations coming on board. KINN, AM 1270 and FM 106.3 in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Sweet.
They are on board for our Saturday show, all 3 hours live. So if you're a newer listener there in Alamogordo, welcome to the program. We'd love to hear from you about whatever you want.
Are you in for a surprise?
Indeed. And also want to make sure you know about Bitcoin.com, because that's a great place to go if you want to learn about Bitcoin, because it's not too late. It's been around for a decade, but that's nothing in the history of money. 10 years, that's drop in the bucket compared to gold or silver or something like that. So don't feel like you're too late. Don't feel like you've missed out, because you can always buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, because one whole Bitcoin right now is what, $3,800, $3,900, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So you can learn all about the basics over at Bitcoin.com. They got a great Bitcoin Academy there, plus the latest news headlines. You can engage with the community on the Bitcoin forum, learn how to get a Bitcoin wallet, buy Bitcoin, and even learn how to spend it and more. Go to Bitcoin.com to do that. Let's go to Larry in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Larry.
You know what? I wanted to talk about racism, but you're talking about a civil war, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Here's the problem
believe in it, but there are a lot of people seem to.
I don't believe in a civil war either, because all they're going to say is they say, look, all you people out there, you want your civil war, right? Then we're going to cut your internet off right now, and we're not going to cut it off until you come and surrender. They'll buckle their knees. They'll be in there begging to get their internet back on. There's not going to be any kind of civil war. But anyway,
I think
that's a strong argument.
Larry's right.
They'll buckle their knees. The problem I have with racism, how it's being expropriated. Here in the state of Indiana, the LGBTQ community is trying to expropriate blackness, the colored people who have really suffered, to get their point across and get some kind of extra protected class.
Okay, I don't understand what you mean. When you say the LGBTQ community in Indianapolis is expropriating blackness, can you give me an example of what that means?
Here's what I mean. This group of gay LGBT people, or whatever they are mostly white middle-class people, right?
I'll take your word for it.
They're already white.
I've seen plenty of gay black dudes.
White. Yeah, well,
I think gays are just generally like a certain percentage of the... Larry, I think gays are generally a certain percentage of the population. I don't think that they're any more or less prevalent among whites or blacks.
But if that is true, Ian, then the majority of them are white.
Sure.
Here's my problem. I'm over at the State House. Most of the people that testified, the GLPT community, were white. And then the black pastors start getting up. The black politicians start coming along, talking as if these people, so-called classified minority, had went through the civil rights movement with us. That's what they acted like.
They had their own kind of civil rights movement. I mean, it was different, certainly.
Yeah, but they don't need to get black people involved in it, because they have not paid the price, and they have not earned any extra statutory statutory enactments because they are one way or another.
Well, in some
Everybody
places
should
they
be
have.
equal before the law.
In some places, well, Larry, in some places, LGBTQ, trans, that kind of thing, they've gotten, I guess that's the T, but they've gotten acknowledgement in the law in non-discriminatory or anti-discrimination statutes.
It's still wrong because when you're classifying people and you coming before the justice bar, and it's insidious because you're telling me that I'm not as worth as much as he is. I was
Who's
over
telling
the
you
State
that?
House when this was going on. They're telling me that if somebody goes in and kills me, then the judge won't even be able to consider any extra sentencing on me.
Are you talking about hate crimes?
Hate crimes legislation.
So they have hate crimes in Indiana?
They're trying to pass it through our legislature now.
Okay.
I'm
Do you feel
deadly,
like somebody
really
should,
against it.
Larry, do you feel like somebody should get an extra punishment because they don't like you as they're trying to murder you?
No.
Yeah, I don't either.
You got to have hate. No, but you have to have hate. I don't care where you come across it. It's got to be a part of our equation. We just have to learn to deal with it on an equal basis. When you start picking out different groups and saying you're GLBT or you're gay, well, how you prove you're gay? That's what I'm asking too.
Normally you just claim it. I mean, there are some things you could do. We can't really talk about it on the radio, though. Thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450.
Larry's right. You cannot prove whether or not somebody is gay.
No, that's true. You can't prove it, but there are some acts that person could commit that would lend serious credence to the claim.
But if you accept the sort of modern PC definition of what is gay or what is straight, it's all happens in your head. What is, whether you're male or female, all happening in your head. I might be standing in front of you as a 48-year-old white guy, straight white guy, but in my heart, I'm a little black girl, right? Like it's just nuts at this point. Like there's no reality in the world anymore.
Yeah.
So I think Larry's absolutely correct that hey, this gets very difficult. I'm with you. I don't think hate crimes should be a thing. That murder is murder, robbery is robbery, assault, aggravated assault is aggravated assault.
That's
exactly what I think what he's saying.
It could have been what he was saying. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. But it sounded like he was frustrated by the government treating people differently. And while I may not necessarily be on the exact same page as him, I do agree that the government, well, first of all, I don't think they should exist. Coercive government shouldn't exist at all. But if they're going to, then they ought to treat people the same. I think that's true. And I don't think that anybody should be prohibited from discriminating against people. I mean, I think tolerance is a good idea. I think allowing other people to live their lives in whatever way they want to is a good idea. Because
I think it takes a very small person to assume something about somebody because of these whatever these things are. What are you going to assume about me because I just said that I was a straight white male? What are your presumptions about me? And whatever they are, they may be true, they may be false, because all you're doing is looking at statistics.
Right. And that's what something.
By the way, I don't consider myself white.
Yeah.
I've decided that race is not of particular value to me. I think the people that yammer on about race they're just boring.
Those are the people that tend to look at statistics, right? They want to find statistics that back up their racist beliefs.
It's all about the statistics at that point.
The toll-free number, it ignores the individual. It ignores the person.
And for me, I'm all about the individual. I care about the individual's acts, the individual's what they've done, and so the race is meaningless to me in that way.
All right, so we'll get back to this fear-mongering about civil war, that the potential for a civil war some people believe is coming. And I think that's certainly the thing that Larry was the most right about in his call, was that take away somebody's internet access or their television or their sports teams or whatever, and actually that might actually make them angry if you did that. Maybe that would make them rise up. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Any Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the show. You dial toll free here. Is there a civil war on the horizon? That's what some people are saying. The toll free number is 855-450 free if you want to join us here. 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. And also want to make sure that you know about ForkFest. It's coming up in like 3.5 months. It's going to be here pretty soon. Summertime. Just actually the week, I guess it's the last week of spring, technically. June 13th through June 18th at the beautiful Rogers Campground in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. We will be there broadcasting Free Talk Live, and hopefully there will be a few hundred other folks. Maybe. We don't know what to expect because ForkFest doesn't have organizers. It doesn't have tickets. There's nobody in charge except you.
It's just a decentralized camping festival.
Yep. Earlier this week, we had Stephen Zeiler from AnyPay.global call in and announced they're going to be having an AnyPay party tent basically there every single night. during Fork Fest.
Those boys know how to party.
It's going to be awesome. And Jay Noon, one of our co-hosts on Wednesday nights, has announced he's going to be doing what's called Man Camp.
I am so excited about Man Camp.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there's nobody is going to be better at Man Camp than Jay Noon.
No doubt.
Just can fix anything. He can show you how
He's
to.
handy.
Yeah, he can show you how to, prep for anything. He's just an amazing guy.
So forkfest.party is where you can go to learn more about it. It's an unofficial website because everything's unofficial with Forkfest. You just decide what you want to do. Do you want to just go hang out with other liberty-minded folks, voluntarists, anarchists, libertarians, or do you want to create something for those people to do? Maybe you want to put on a speaker series. Maybe you want to put on a musical event, poker game, whatever it is that you're into that you think other people will enjoy. Forkfest.party. You can connect with others there on the Forkfest forum and Telegram chat room. It's Forkfest, F-O-R-K, Forkfest.party as we go to the phones. And more on this Civil War concept coming up here in moments. Franklin is on the line listening to WQXL in Columbia, South Carolina. Hello, Franklin.
How's it going?
Hey, you're on the air.
I just wanted to touch on something the last caller mentioned. He made a quip about if there were a civil war, the government would just cut off internet and everyone would be begging for them to turn it back on, and that would be the end of the war.
I thought it was clever.
I obviously think that there are a lot of things that are not worth fighting for, and that I think the context of the Civil War being around race is a bit ridiculous and not likely, thankfully. But in this country, we've heard so much about the revolution and these men that fought for what they felt was right. But I'm seeing so many injustices and moral wrongs being perpetrated by our government. But it seems like there's so much complacency in our lives, in our day-to-day. I can get taxed out of the ass, and things are just not going well. Money's being spent on things I find immoral. And still I come home and have a TV and can relax, and there's plenty of food and all those things.
Right.
So I just wonder what your guys' thoughts are about where that threshold for rebellion would be if we didn't have those creature comforts.
Well, I think that's you hit the nail on the head, is that revolutions aren't fought by people who have full bellies. That's really what it comes down to, is it's just funny. Except in France, by the way. Those people will rise up over anything. And I have a certain level of respect for that, honestly.
Me too.
They consider their democracy, their republic, to be a participatory situation, and they're willing to protest. Americans, they don't do that. And, well, for better or for worse, Americans don't do that. Mostly, I consider what the hoi polloi, the democracy, the greater population want to be nonsense. Largely, that they don't know what they're looking for, that democracy is just pitting groups against each other and it's just a system for creating hate, for creating animosity,
and
for
the
creating
politicians
division.
benefit from that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they want. They want to ping pong back and forth between a Republican and a Democrat president for the next X number of decades as they continue to enrich themselves, as we all continue to work to benefit them.
Right. They get more powerful, they get more wealthy, and we all get less free.
I think the only thing you can do to revolt is to withhold your money from them in some way, shape, or form.
One of the ways to do that is through cryptocurrency. You can take money out of the old money, old banking, government money system and put it into something that they basically can't touch. So that's one way to do it. The more you can do to make yourself independent from that system, I would agree, is definitely a good thing. Franklin, anything else you want to share tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess with that, that's a sad thing to hear in a lot of ways, that we just, as a culture, are so quick to trade what we view as right and worthy. I mean, I understand what you're saying about revolutions not being fought on full bellies.
I mean, look at Venezuela right now.
They were very wealthy. They were very wealthy men, and they
okay. The founding fathers, the ones that you studied about, were from wealthy families, but there were people who picked up guns that weren't from those families, and those wealthy people screwed the hell out of the people that fought for them. Check out Shays' Rebellion afterwards. The rich people that took over the government of the United States weren't much better than the rich people that they took it over from.
That figures.
But can we agree that the government that they set up was better initially, at least?
I don't know. Let's compare it today. Is Canada significantly worse than the United States?
No, actually, it ranks.
So. I mean, I think
no,
I
it's
think
not.
I would say, I mean, with the free speech. Impact,
they're not as they don't have as free a speech, and they have that their medicine is socialized. That much is true. But if you check out the Heritage Foundation, not exactly a liberal organization, and their rankings of the countries of the world, you'll find that Canada is considered freer, as is New Zealand.
Economically free.
Yeah, economically freer.
Yeah, but the free speech thing is a linchpin.
No, it's not. You've had free speech all along. Look where you're at. Slightly worse than Canada.
Right. Well, it hasn't made things more free, I guess, is what you're pointing out, Mark. That even though the U.S. has freedom of speech,
you got guns and speech.
The U.S. is absolutely the world's police force. It is absolutely the dominating force on the planet right now, and that's not a good thing. That's not helping freedom. That's actually, impoverishing us and transferring wealth to the politically connected. And transferring wealth from the political system to military-industrial complex and other industrial complexes. So I mean, we're screwed pretty bad here.
Well, I don't deny that things are bad in terms of economic freedom, and I'd like to look into that Heritage study. But to negate the value of free speech, I mean, I think that really is crucial.
I'm not negating the value of free speech. I'm just telling you it hasn't resulted in more freedom overall, because it's not just the Heritage Foundation. It's also, I believe, Free the World, which
it's not the only.
It's Cato, but there's another organization.
Yeah, Cato does one too. It's not the only one that does it.
Canada beats the U.S. on both of those charts.
It also beats the U.S. in freedom of the press. It also beats the U.S. in rule of law.
In Canada, there's been with the transgender issue and the transferring or gender reassignment of young children. That's come to light where the government is backing a child's decision and removing that child from their family if the family doesn't go along with the child's desire to have a sex.
This is what we call cherry picking. You're aware of that, right? Like you can find some. Look,
we can find all kinds of bad things about every government.
That's bad. You're right.
No,
I'm just saying that people who do this for a living, social scientists, have done studies, and they say
studies of studies. Yeah, studies, meta-studies, right?
Meta-studies of studies, and they find that Canada is freer. You can argue it that you don't like some things that Canada's done, and I will agree with you. I don't like some things the UK's done. I don't like some things that lots of countries have done.
We can go down the list.
I'll even go one step further with you. I consider the state, any organization that claims to rule a given geographic area, to be the most successful gang in that geographic area. They're nothing but a criminal organization. However,
all of them.
That's doesn't change the fact that this study was done, and they found that Canada was slightly freer than the U.S.
We got more coming up. Thanks for the call, Franklin. I appreciate the discussion. Our number here is 855-450, free like freedom. Since we're talking about it, we might as well bring up the list, and because it's not just Canada, it's a bunch of other countries that are higher up than the U.S.
The U.S. is 18. Yeah. Land of the free, home of the brave, number 18.
Woo! Go team. 855-450, free. It is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Know someone with a drinking or drug problem? Learn how to get sober after we share these stories.
I was 35 with two beautiful children when my life and addiction started to spiral out of control. After my divorce, I went into a depression cycle and started drinking more often and using prescription drugs. After my second DWI and arrest, my ex-husband threatened to take our children away from me.
I was 17 when I became addicted to heroin and meth. I thought I could quit on my own, but I couldn't. It hit me when I was arrested.
Get sober now. Your private insurance may cover costs and we'll get you here. It's simple. Just call Elite Rehab Placement right now. Please don't wait. Your life matters to us. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. 800-213-9264. Call right now before it's too late. 800-213-9264.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free to bring up whatever you want. Live Saturday edition is 855-450 free. That's the number 855-450-3733. Also, big thanks to Bogart, who is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier, which means he's given $10 a month to the Free Talk Live AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is if you like the fact that we're on 197 now radio stations, that's a record now for Free Talk Live. We're hoping to get to 200 hopefully soon. But if you want that to happen and you want to help us make it happen, then please join the AMP program. Bogart's doing $10 a month, but we only ask for $5. So you can do it for $5 a month or Bitcoin. You can use PayPal, you can use credit card, or Bitcoin BTC. Over at amp.freetalklive.com, you get some cool bonuses and perks as a result of doing that, and we really appreciate your assistance. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, before we continue with your calls, though, I do have the list of the Human Freedom, what is this? The Human Freedom Index is what it's called. It is by the Heritage Foundation. I think it's, is this Heritage? I forgot. I think this might be Free the World. Anyway, it is Cato. Yeah, okay. So this is Human Freedom Index.
One thing is that these indexes are put together by groups of social scientists and professors and stuff like that, and they get sponsored different years by different organizations sometimes too.
So this is Cato and Fraser Institute. Those are the 2 organizations that were involved in putting this list together.
So we would call Cato mainstream libertarian. Fraser Institute, I don't know that much about.
Fraser Institute, I believe, is Canadian, aren't they?
If I'm not mistaken. I think they're foreign, but I don't know.
Go ahead and check that one on if you don't mind, Fraser Institute. So this was a surprise to me after Hong Kong was #1 on this list for years. I mean, we've been talking about this list for what, more than a decade now, Mark, on Free Talk Live? It seems like we've been doing this for a long time. Hong Kong has been the number one country, and it's not really a country, it's kind of like a little carve-out of China at this point, but it, for whatever reason, is listed separately from China, and there's a big difference between Hong Kong and China on this list.
Yes, it is Canadian.
So Hong Kong is down to number 3, with New Zealand taking the top spots as the number 1.
That's pretty impressive.
And they're ranking, by the way, both personal and economic freedom here on this chart.
Which is a difficult thing to do. What is personal freedom and what's it mean to you? Freedom itself is a difficult term to define. What we define it as here on Free Talk Live is the freedom to do what you want so long as it doesn't harm somebody else.
Sure.
And when that takes on the role of the state, of a government, that means the ability of people to do things and a structure of what they want, basically, and a structure of rule of law that allows them to get recompense from their neighbor when their neighbor steps across that line, the line of not harming them while they're doing what they want. So that's how they should be defining it.
Number 2 on the list, again, New Zealand, number 1. Number 2, Switzerland, having moved up a rank, I guess. And then Hong Kong had jumped down to number 3, Australia at number 4, Canada at number 5, the Netherlands at 6, tied apparently for 6 with Denmark. Ireland at number 8, because I guess they left out number 7 because of the 6
to tie,
6 being tied.
Two sixes, yeah.
So Ireland and the UK tied for number 8, and then a 3-way tie for number 10 between Finland, Norway, and Taiwan.
Taiwan's moving up the chart, and deservedly so.
They jumped up 7 points, apparently, or 7 slots. And then
keeping an eye on Taiwan, personally.
Germany at 13, Estonia at 14, Luxembourg at 15, Austria at 16, and finally, up 1 from last year at number 18. They're now number 17, the United States, on the list of human freedom.
That deserves some applause. Yay! Good job, United States, moving up the charts. Yeah, I mean, this is something I think is just news to Americans. It's done. This guy who called in.
Sorry, I didn't notice. Sweden is also tied for 17 with the United States, so it's actually not even in its own
17 and
place.
18.
Yeah.
What this gentleman who just called in, I can't remember what his name was off the top of my head, but he was obviously well informed. He understood history and these kinds of things. This came as a surprise to him.
Yeah,
because it's not getting talked about on mainstream media. Isn't discussing that the United States is losing its freedoms, that it's becoming progressively less free over time, that wars that are started by Republicans are largely the reason. Look, I am no fan of the Democrats. No fan of the Democrats. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I'll go so far as to call them economically illiterate.
Mm-hmm.
However, the welfare warfare state is what makes you less free. And it's the warfare part doesn't help at all.
Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. We got Terry on the line listening to WIBC in Indianapolis. Hello, Terry.
Hi.
Hey. You're on the air.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead, loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, well, like I say, your last guy that called, he was talking, and I've heard him several times now, y'all, where they've said, well, take away the internet and they'll scream and cry, and then all of a sudden the Civil War will be over. The internet has nothing to do with this Civil War that's coming.
You think there's one
What's
coming?
gonna happen? Oh, I know there's one coming.
What are the sides going to be? Who's going to be fighting?
Socialists and the rest of America who wants to be free.
So,
and if anybody can't see that coming, because I guarantee you, in 2020 or even 2024, you get a socialist Democratic Party in office, and they want to change all these rules, hell is going to break loose.
Now, wait a minute. Are you predicting that the socialists, who are already splintered into multiple groups, like if you look up the Socialist Party, you're going to find at least probably 3, if not more, different socialist parties out there. So are you saying that all these socialists are going to come together and literally fight a violent war against everyone else?
Well, your so-called Antifa people, they already think that's what they're fighting.
They think they're fighting they think they're fighting fascists, but I mean they're basically young people with pepper spray. I mean I'm not terribly scared of them.
Yeah, there's a little more than pepper spray. I've been to one of these places when they decided to come in and try to take over.
Really? What happened?
And trust me, they had some sticks and they had a lot more than a little pepper spray.
Okay.
And they actually hurt quite a few people.
Where were you?
And unfortunately,
where did this happen?
Up in Michigan.
Was it a rally of some sort?
We were in Detroit, and I didn't even realize that there was a rally or anything going on, and we kind of drove into it. And they literally beat the crap out of the car.
Wow.
And the guy that was with us was like, "Well, let me get you out of here." And all I could say is it was very irritating to see. They want to show up, they wear their little mask, they hide their faces. Hey, come on out here and trust me, when it comes to time for a real civil war, those little boys, they're going to learn really, really quick just what men are about.
I would agree with you on that statement. That if there was a war between sort of the right and the left in the United States, that it would be, as Loki said in Avengers, glorious, not lengthy. But it's like just go to Google. Search, as long as we have the internet, we might as well use it. Go to Google, search Democrat voters, U.S. counties. And this is important. If you search states, you get a really unrealistic picture of the distribution of votes in this country based on, sort of liberal and conservative. And then consider that a lot of people who vote Democrat are not liberal. They're not socialist. Mm-hmm. They're, in many cases, ethnically disadvantaged and find the Democratic Party more palatable than the Republican Party. I don't think they should, but they do. And that's just a reality. So they're not going to fight for people who are spouting things that they disagree with necessarily.
You're right. They're not. And the group of people who are going to fight for the Democratic side are going to be the ones that are, and I say the Democratic side because this is, everybody puts it as Republican-Democrat war. It's not. It's socialist and then the people who want to be free.
Right.
In America.
I'm with you.
Are there that many of those people?
There aren't, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is those people
there's not going to be a whole lot of them, except for maybe out in California.
Right. Well,
I don't mean socialists. I mean people that want to be free.
There's people who want to that claim.
There's a lot more people who want to be free than you think. And I'll guarantee you, they call for a civil war, and it comes to that. That's how we're going to fight. There's a lot of people that's going to show up that you never thought were going to come out of the woodwork. And that's exactly how it will be. They're laying low and quiet right now.
Assuming that Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. military all stay out of this fight, and it's just individuals, you look at this map and you will see that there is no way to hold for the Democrats. They have no base. There is no geographic location that they can really hold, except perhaps, the sort of the tri-state area around New York City and
Chicago.
The edge in. No, they can't hold Chicago.
Los Angeles?
And the edge out in California.
Thanks, Terry, for the call. There's
and they
more
won't
coming
win
up.
that.
It's Free Talk Live. Hour 2 is next.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Gold opened at $1,313 on Friday. Silver opened the day at $15.60, and Bitcoin was trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, input from the Southern Poverty Law Center plays a role in PayPal's blacklist decisions. Confirmation came during a recent Wall Street Journal interview with PayPal CEO Dan Schulman. In the interview, Schulman told the newspaper the SPLC is among groups both on the right and left that helped PayPal make the decision to ban certain accounts. Schulman claims the company does a careful examination of the information provided, saying that while the SPLC has brought things, PayPal doesn't always agree, but apparently utilizes the controversial organization's input in some aspect of the decision-making process. According to a report from the Daily Caller, PayPal is not alone in SPLC involvement, as Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Twitter also look to the SPLC for input. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% on your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Your news now continues. As the remaining pockets of ISIS fighters faced imminent defeat in northeast Syria, the United States allegedly gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. Give us your massive caches of gold or die. The Free Thought Project, citing reports by Syrian state news agency Sana, reports that U.S. forces struck a deal with ISIS, whereby the terrorist group would give up 50 tons of gold in exchange for safe passage. The precious metal, worth about $2.13 billion, was plundered by the self-designated Caliphate, as its reign of terror spread across Syria and Iraq from 2015 to 2017. Turkish newspaper Daily Sabah reports that local sources claim U.S. Army helicopters have already transferred the gold from the U.S. forces base in Kobani, the Kurdish-controlled city that lies close to Syria's northern border with Syria. A portion of the gold was also distributed to the Kurdish People's Protection Units, which dominates the U.S. allied Syrian Democratic Forces. Saudi Arabia has stripped citizenship from Hamza bin Laden, the son of slain al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The Interior Ministry said in a statement published by the official gazette al-Qura. The U.S. State Department on Thursday said it was offering a reward up to $1 million for information leading to the identification or location in any country of Hamza, seeing him as an emerging face in his father's organization. The anti-media reports that the location of Hamza bin Laden has been the subject of speculation for years, with reports of him living in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, or under house arrest in Iran. Osama bin Laden was stripped of his citizenship in 1994. The junior bin Laden, who according to the United States is around 30 years old, has threatened attacks against the U.S. to avenge the 2011 killing of his father, who was living in hiding in Pakistan by U.S. Special Forces. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Do you sometimes feel that healthy eating can be a lot of work with very little reward? Well, no need to worry any longer. Here are the Onion's tips for healthy eating. First, identify your weaknesses, and then condition yourself to avoid problem foods by associating them with deceased relatives, unrequited loves, and traumatic events. Remember, alcohol is a source of empty calories, so be sure to keep your drinking under control. Unless you're really stressed out, like if something happens at work or if your cat gets hit by a car. If you find yourself suddenly craving a fatty food, let yourself enjoy the best of both worlds. Tape a slice of ham to your tongue and slowly absorb the taste throughout the day without swallowing. Stay motivated by paying yourself $1 every day until you meet your weight loss goals. At the end of 10 years' time, spend that cash on a cosmetic operation of your choice. There, now you're ready to begin your new healthy lifestyle.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The idea of a civil war has once again been floated, this time in the Washington Post. And the suggestion seems to be that it's going to be race-based, but we haven't even really gotten into this story. We also had another guy call in saying he believes it's going to be the socialists versus the people that want to be free, that there's going to be some sort of fight that breaks out.
The people who don't want you to have guns versus the people who do want you to have guns. I wonder who's going to win.
Now, I don't know at what point you decide. I mean, is it sort of you're looking back at history that, oh, that's when the war started? Because it's got to be one of those things that's going to be hard to know when you're like, when does the civil war between the socialists and those who want to be free begin? What is the starting date? What is the first battle? What is the first fracas?
Well, I don't think it's going to exist.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I really can't answer any of those questions. But what I find is that, first off, people like this as a mental exercise. They like to think about it. Mm-hmm. And your mind needs to have things to work on. Goodness sakes, we have to, it has to have things to do. It's burning a lot of calories. It's got to have stuff to do. It's like having its own little treadmill, this whole idea of a civil war. And wars are far more interesting than peace. As a peace advocate, when you look at history, you don't look for, I wonder what created this peace. You're out there running around trying to think about who started the war? What would an alternate history be? What would it be like if this war?
What if this other side won?
Yeah, right, and all that stuff. Yeah. That's the interesting stuff. Wars are interesting. Peace is boring. And and
you say that as a peace advocate.
As a peace advocate, I'm not saying that's good. I'm saying that that's one of the things that I have to run up against as a peace advocate is that war is exciting, and I think that this is a shortcut in our minds to the politics that is to come. The socialists who are advocating for more government are in the government, and the government likes people that advocate for more government. And we, those that want less government, have a big fight ahead of us if we choose to fight it. And at this point, a lot of people who want less government, who don't want to be involved in the government, are not fighting it.
Yeah, so, we can continue to pick apart what our other callers said, but let's get to Dashi on the line here in South Carolina, listening to WQXL in the Columbia area. Go ahead, Dashi.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, good. You're on the air.
Yeah, a couple points. Let me start with my first point. I joined the Army in 1986, and in 86, our targets were Russian soldiers, right?
Sure.
But what a lot of people don't realize is that in the U.S. Army, we train many of the other armies in the world. Case in point, I was in Fort Sam Houston, and I used to train Iraqi soldiers. They went to school here. Most of the South American dictators, they all went to school at Fort Benning, South Carolina. And I remember, I guess they call it indoctrination when you're in the Army. Sure. And they were telling us why we don't want to be like the Soviets, right? Well, for one, they had cameras on every corner. 2, they tapped every phone. 3, anything you said could get you killed. You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't want to live in a place like that.
Guess what?
9/11
it's happening now.
And it's so crazy because so many people that we trained and were quote unquote allies with, we wound up going to war with later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Saddam Hussein.
What is someone to get from that? Yeah. What we get from that is that socialist, Democrat, all that stuff, it really has nothing to do. It's all about economics. People in top, I don't believe they have a political party. Political parties for people like us.
Yeah, you got it, man. You absolutely have it.
Yeah, because we're against Democrats if it serves our purpose, and we don't want anybody to get together. If everybody was one party, there would be no problems. So the two-party system makes sense to keep power, for people who got money.
Well, look,
you said it earlier.
I have to disagree with you that there would be no problems. I mean, humans are constantly disagreeing with one another. If you put everybody in one party, you're just going to have an immediate schism. And even within the two parties, there are, divisions, right? So, like, whether it be a political party or whether it be a religion, for instance, you constantly see once groups become a certain size, and usually it's relatively small. Once groups grow to a certain size, then they end up schisming. They end up having a split. And in many cases, those splits are not healable. So, I mean, I don't think that it's true that one party would just solve all the problems. But I do agree with you that I do agree with you that the divide is not what they want you to believe it is. They want you to believe the divide is Republicans versus Democrats when it's really them versus us. And what I mean by that is the government and the rest of us, the people who are in the state, the people who are using power against the rest of us, forcing us to do their bidding, whoever they are, whether they be Republicans or Democrats, forcing us against our will to pay into their system and to obey them. That's the real division, and that's what they don't want people to see.
I think a problem that I've had in the past is that, if you're a Democrat, right, you have to accept Democrat quote-unquote values, you know what I mean? And I don't subscribe to Democrat values. So in the past, I've had to, vote Republican because I have my values are more in line with that. But it doesn't, I guess ideology. I can't say the word right
ideologically.
Now, yeah, thank you. I just can't go 100% with that either. So I was always stuck. You know what I mean?
I feel absolutely the same.
Yeah, because I'm like, wow, like I don't believe in, there's certain things I just don't want to support, and so I don't want to be lumped into a group. But I just know I can't, in good mind. Let me put it this way: I voted for Ross Perot because he was like an alternative at the time.
Yeah, sure.
He wasn't a great alternative, but I just couldn't see myself going either way. You know what I mean?
A lot of people would vote for a third party like Ross Perot because they just aren't. He's not the other guys. He's not. He's bad, exactly. But he's not as bad as the other guys. And the Libertarians. I was involved with the Libertarian Party for many years. And, they are definitely right on when it comes to freedom, and I love freedom, and that's what it's all about for me. But you get involved in that.
Believe it or not, I learned about the Libertarian Party from your show.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you get involved in the Libertarian Party, it's an S show. I mean, it's just a constant groups that have splintered within the party, fighting against one another for control.
They have no power, and they're still fighting over power.
Yeah, and it's just so futile. Yeah. It's so frustrating. Dashi, anything else you want to share with us tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. I heard the guy Larry earlier.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how, I think what he was trying to say, because he didn't say it right, but basically what I'm gathering, right, because I have an issue with this. I don't, people are free to do whatever they want to. If you want to be gay, that's your right.
Sure.
And if you don't want to be, I don't believe in this whole gay agenda where my kids have to learn about it until I'm ready to teach them about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that should be the parents' choice. But more to the point, what I found, at least in the Northeast area, and I found that they liken the plight of the LGBT community to that of slavery, and I don't think that's fair or right.
It's nowhere near as yes. I mean,
but they put in it. They're like I guess they're saying like because I'm gay, we're brothers. No, you're gay because you're gay. Like, we didn't go through the same thing.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah. Having an issue over what bathroom you have to use is not the same as having a taskmaster cracking a whip over your back, right?
Yeah.
From horseback.
I like, if you want to do your gay rights and you want to march and do it on your own accord. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. That's
Dashi,
fine.
thank you for the call tonight, man. I do appreciate hearing from you, and thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's no doubt that it hasn't been easy to be gay and to come out of the closet for many of those people. I mean, I don't want to take away from those that have been beaten, for instance, right? Like within inches of their lives or possibly even killed. I mean, so there are some people who have faced some pretty severe consequences for being gay. But I mean, overall, as a group, nowhere near as oppressed as blacks were in the past in the United States. 855-450-FREE. Oh my God, I can't get my cake made. It's Free Talk Live.
Smart Cash is a peer-to-peer digital currency that is fast, secure, and easy to use. Smart Cash also features smart rewards, a price stabilization mechanism, and a way to encourage long-term holding. Long-term holders are key to the project's success. You can earn smart rewards on any address for which you hold the private keys, which holds at least 1,000 smart for 1 month and does not make any outgoing transactions during that time. Smart rewards are distributed every 47,500 blocks to all eligible addresses. Learn more at smartcash.cc.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com is delighted to announce their latest partnership with the gift card specialists at eGifter. With many of the world's leading brands on their roster, it is now easier than ever to get the gift cards of your favorite brands with Bitcoin Cash. To get started, just follow these simple steps. Visit giftcards.bitcoin.com, pick the gift card you want, follow the instructions on your screen, and make your payment using your Bitcoin Cash wallet. Sit tight and your gift card will be delivered to you as soon as it's ready. That's giftcards.bitcoin.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And the folks over at anypay.global have launched a brand new website. Now, anypay.global is the way to go if you are a merchant who is accepting or interested in accepting cryptocurrency at the point of sale. But they've made a site that makes it even easier. It's called helpmetakebitcoin.com. So if you've been wanting to get started taking Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com. Pretty easy to remember that, right?
Yeah, helpmetakebitcoin.com.
Takebitcoin.com. And they're doing some cool stuff over at AnyPay. They got their brand new iOS app out. So those of you that have been waiting, if you've been waiting on, if you got an iPad at your point of sale and you didn't want to go through the process of having to load up the AnyPay in a web browser, they've now got an iPad app. So check that out. It's helpmetakebitcoin.com. We go to the phones to the fun. Let's talk to Bobby in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Bobby.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
All right. Your one caller was talking about when a civil war will start between the capitalists and the socialists, free market capitalists and socialists. Well, don't all wars start when the first bullet's fired?
I guess.
The way it did when the British fought the colonials. And the shot that was heard around the world, that's when the war starts, when that first bullet's fired.
Or they killed Archduke Ferdinand for, what was that, World War I?
Yeah, that's what it's blamed on, but it's
Revolutionary War, wasn't it?
Well, he was talking about a different one.
Yeah.
But so maybe this, I mean, I'm certain a capitalist has fired a bullet or vice versa at a socialist at this point when, which one of these bullets, I think, is what Ian's asking.
Well, yeah, I mean, that first bullet fire is really what starts the war when they face off. And you was correct in another issue about the freedoms being slowly taken away, like a right to free speech and expression. You've got the politically correct crowd out there, been out there for years, trying to stifle free speech because they feel offended over something. The Constitution don't guarantee any American citizen the right not to be offended, but it does guarantee the right to free speech and expression. You've got the blacks up in the air over slavery. Well, slavery was a necessity back in those days.
It was certainly a reality.
Let me finish.
I'm happy to, but there's countries without slavery at the time.
Yeah. Well, prior to the Revolutionary War, the colonists was under British control.
Right.
British, Spaniards, And Frenchmen was over in Africa, and African leaders was slaying each other's tribes and taking their prisoners and selling them to the white men and Europeans in Africa who brought them to the United States.
Yep.
Well, at the time the Revolutionary War started, the colonists, they had an internal enemy called the slave, the black slave, who was fighting for the British, the French, and the Spaniards.
That's because the British were offering them. Well, the French were on the same side as the colonists.
The British.
The British and the French were not on the same side.
Either way, it was after the Revolution.
Well, the British were offering the blacks freedom in returning. You were saying they were offering
during the Revolutionary War.
To fight,
British, yep.
Yeah, the British was offering the blacks freedom to fight the Americans. They didn't even want them to be free, though. But now,
no, they just wanted some. They wanted some free labor and some free bodies that they can, send into conflict. But I mean, you're not making an argument that slavery was, what was the term you used? Necessary? What was the word?
It was a necessity. It was a necessity.
You have not made an argument for that. You've just simply told some of history.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish. We're talking about the American colonists, the mindset of the American colonists. He's not only got to fight the British, and the Indians in America to get independence from the British Crown, but he's got to fight now the blacks. So as long as he keeps the blacks in slavery, he's got them under control. And it lasted all the way to the War of 1812.
That same colonist could have said that, hey, y'all are free if you fight for us. And that would have gotten the same result.
Could have, would have, did it, but that didn't happen. It did not happen because they could no longer trust.
You're not making an argument that it was necessary.
And I don't view it as a necessity.
Thanks for the call tonight, Bobby. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. It's a belief that was wrong, and it was widely held at that time.
Yeah, slavery didn't start at the American Revolution or at the colonizing of the United States.
It didn't finish at it.
Or any of those things. Slavery has been with us since the beginning of the Agrarian Revolution. Everybody who's listening to my voice has ancestors that are slaves. I know that I've got some Mongolian descent. I suspect that came at the time of Genghis Khan and some Eastern European ancestors. I suspect it was rape. I suspect some people were drug off and put into slavery. Slavery happened. I suspect my German ancestry was probably enslaved by the Romans. We're all sons and daughters of slaves and slave owners. So I think it's something that at some point we're going to have to put behind us. I'd like to see it put behind us. I really don't like this whole
I'd like to see racism go away. I mean, not just put slavery behind us, but also see racism end, and further put the new form of slavery behind us, where, the government essentially has enslaved everybody to some extent, because as we pointed out earlier, if you don't do what they say, whether they be Republicans or Democrats, whoever they are in government, or whatever country you live in, if you don't do what they say, they'll kill you. So you pay whatever they say to pay. You do whatever it is that they say to do. Meanwhile, you get to look after yourself. So that's one of the differences, right? You don't have to live on a specific plantation. You can kind of move between these larger plantations, right? Countries, as you might call them. But wherever it is that you live, there's somebody who's master. Somebody, and they don't ask you to call them master. It's usually your honor. It's usually, the man in the robe, right?
Yeah.
That's your honor.
Well,
sir.
Slavery exists today in the sense that what you're saying is it has morphed. That we now have an organization that claims some of the fruits of our labor. Mm-hmm. That organization is known as the state, right?
Different percentages in different places.
Right, different percentages in different places. But ultimately, you live on a piece of land, and you're going to, as a result, you have to give some amount of your labor as some kind of tax for things that you don't necessarily use. The most just thing they can do is make it so that the state, only covers the bare minimum of things, and that you pay for the things that you want, like schooling and whatever else it is, medical care and these kind of things. But the problem is that we're told over and over again that, well, poor people won't get these things. Well, do I have some obligation? Not to say that I'm not happy to pay for poor people to get things. We sponsored an orphanage in Uganda. But do I have an obligation to pay for a poor person in San Diego, but not an obligation to pay for a poor person in Tijuana?
We got more coming up here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Since also we got the index of human freedom, which both personal and economic, we should go down to the bottom 5 or the bottom 10 of the list, and we'll continue.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. It's the live Saturday edition of the program. That's 855-450-3733. And also, we got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. If you want to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us, just jump on our Discord server over at discord.lrn.fm. Super easy to get involved in the Discord server, and most of the time it's just for chatting. In fact, that's what it is used probably 99% of the time for. But during our live show, you can use it to call in. But of course, the chat rooms continue because there's different rooms on the Discord server in which you can talk about different topics. There's the On-Air Now room, which is the busy one. That's where most people talk about things when they're listening to the show. There's also one for cryptocurrency, one for gaming, and several others. Go to discord.lrn.fm as we continue here. Since we had brought up, or I guess one of the callers allowed us to sort of bring up these different studies that are being done of global freedom, both economic and personal. We've got the one here from the Cato Institute and the Fraser Institute, which combines both economic and personal freedoms into one score. So they've got two different scores for personal and economic freedom, and they come up with whatever the total score is for overall human freedom. And we kind of gave you some of the top on the list, and I'll just recap briefly. New Zealand has taken the top spot and taken it away from longtime top spot holder Hong Kong, although a long time they only did economic freedom, so maybe the personal freedom factor kind of changed things a little bit once they started factoring that in over the last, because I think this is newish within the last few years.
Yeah, Hong Kong's become more democratic in the sense that they want their opinions heard, and to my mind, democracy is really where you see the downfall of any real freedom, because it's nice to have your rights respected, but when your rights can be determined by the majority, you don't have rights anymore.
Yep, you're in trouble. And of course, as we've seen, just because you call it a republic doesn't mean that it's going to be much more respecting of rights.
No, just because somebody uses North Korea uses the term republic.
Actually, let's go all the way down to the bottom of the list and see how many republics there are. Let's see. Within the bottom 5, there's a republic.
Yes.
So let's start at the very bottom, number 162. Now, remember, there are some countries that are exempted from this list due to there's just not enough information coming from these locations. It's hard to discern, anything about them. So, like North Korea is a good example.
It's not on the list.
Of one of the ones that is not on the list. So, of the countries in the world that are ranked on this list, it does go up to 162. What is the least economically free ranked country in the world?
I'm supposed to guess?
Just take a stab in the dark.
Eritrea.
I'm not seeing. Oh, yeah, I'm not seeing that in the bottom 10 here. Just a quick glance.
Begins with an E.
Syria is number 162, down 3 spots from the previous year. However, it's making headway here, moving down the list as fast as it can. Venezuela down 4 spots in the last year.
The socialists will tell you that's the sanctions the United States government has put on them. I don't even understand this. Like, how you can look at this situation. Not to say that the United States government's sanctions put on Venezuela haven't been, a bad thing. If they weren't a bad thing, the United States government wouldn't have done it. However, you have to be an economic moron to think that the United States' sanctions somehow cause Venezuela to pump more money into its system constantly.
Right. Number 3, or rather the third least free, is the Republic of Yemen.
Okay. Well, a lot of these places are at war, but...
Well, don't worry. There are other republics on the bottom 50 here as well. Yeah. Iraq is the 4th least free. Libya, 5th least. Sudan, 6th least. Egypt, Algeria, Burundi.
I'm sure I'm glad that so many Americans fought and died for the freedom of Iraq.
So other republics on the list here, the Central African Republic at 152, followed by the Congo Republic at, it looks like 136. And then, of course, don't forget the fact that the North Korea, which isn't even ranked here, is also a republic, Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
DPRK.
Yep. And, of course, China, I believe, calls itself a republic, and it's not doing so hot on this list either at number 135.
If you're a real good conservative, you always say Red China.
Let's continue here. Your calls and thoughts. You're welcome to bring up whatever is on your mind. But just a reminder, in case you're just tuning in.
And when you say Barack Hussein Obama every time.
No, just a reminder, if you're just tuning in, the United States is at number 17 on this list. So it's in the top 20, but it's not near the top 10. So we continue with your calls and thoughts here. Let's go to Jason in Texas. Jason, where are you at in Texas tonight?
Texarkana.
Welcome. You must be listening to, I think, KFLS. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, just real quick about the government. I do agree on some points, probably most of them, about the government, but, I mean, it could be worse. Do you not agree?
That it could be worse?
I'm sorry, it's KTFS. I apologize to the other station.
No problem.
Anyway, go ahead.
We are allowed to pretty much, free speech to an extent, and we're allowed to progress and live a fairly safe life.
Safety is not freedom.
No?
No. You have to have freedom taken from you by these politicians for them to promise that you're going to be safe, but they don't actually make you any safer. So you just end up losing your freedom. I mean, look at the TSA. What a joke.
They should be renamed the water bottle confiscators. Yeah, I would agree with you. Certainly it could be worse. I mean, we're reading a list here of 168 nations. The United States is number 17.
Number 17.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Could be worse.
It could be worse. They could be at 27, 77, or 137. Those things are true. I think that it is incumbent upon good Americans to sound the alarm that the United States is heading in the wrong direction and has been under both Democrats and Republicans for the last few decades.
Yeah.
That, while we wave the flag and say the pledge and weep as FA-18s fly over our football games, politicians have been hard at work taking as much of your money and as much of your freedom as they possibly can get. And so, some people will call me an anti-patriot. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to argue patriotism enables these thieves and shysters to do what they do. So, could it be worse? Yeah, 100%, man. The United States is a great place to make a living. Then retire someplace else after you've made the money.
That I have thought about, actually. I was in the military.
Good Americans often think about this.
New Zealand, number one on the list.
Well, I don't do New Zealand because of the cost of living.
And now what was number one on the list?
New Zealand.
This is the 2018 numbers from the Cato Institute and, Fraser Institute. Number one, New Zealand, followed by Switzerland, Hong Kong, Australia, Canada, Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, UK, Finland, Norway, Taiwan, Germany, Estonia, Luxembourg, Austria, United States.
Oh, wow. Hong Kong and Thailand. I wouldn't have thought they'd been on there.
Hong Kong was very free. It was set up as a British...
Taiwan, not Thailand. I apologize. Taiwan.
The big difference. Hong Kong was set up as a British trading zone with China, and the guy who set it up was basically a proto-libertarian, understood what economic freedom was and how great it would be. Hong Kong has actually been significantly more free, and it's their new democratic movements that are making it less free now. Taiwan is moving forward because they, it's basically have had some good politicians elected up to this point, which means it always can change at any time.
Wow. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, I really
thanks, Jason.
You guys.
Appreciate your call, brother.
Get y'all's thought there.
Yeah, thanks for making the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450, free.
And this is the tightrope upon which we walk here, Ian, is that on one hand, we have to advocate for freedom, which means advocating essentially against government. On the other hand, people are going to say, well, if you don't like this government, which government do you like? If you don't like this government, why don't you go someplace else? It's the thing that's constantly said. And by all means, ladies and gentlemen, I will go someplace that is more free, significantly more free. I'm not willing to trade it for a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I like America. I grew up here. There's lots of things that I'm very comfortable with. But don't think that my loyalties lie with a nation that's going into ruins.
We got more on the way here. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. You can join us on the radio, live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live. Plus, you can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever you want.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The Crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the Crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the Crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
We pledge allegiance to one flag, and that flag is the American flag.
Did you know the official national American flag has never been manufactured for retail stores? The one that Americans fought and died for. The one symbol that represents our Constitution. Now you can be a part of this great movement that's never been seen before. Together, we'll recapture America. Call 1-877-383-4777 or visit theofficialflag.com. Theofficialflag.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live Saturday edition. You dial toll free to join us here on the radio. Our number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Ian here with you tonight.
And Mark.
855-450-3733. We started out the show talking about this so-called civil war that a lot of people have been talking about. In fact, one of our callers tonight believes that there's going to be a civil war. And of course, you always have to ask, well, what are the sides going to be? So it's always a question I ask. And he says it's going to be socialists versus those people in America who want to be free.
That's correct.
And he assured me that there are waves and waves of people in America that want to be free, and they're just laying low, waiting for the right moment to rise up and use violence against socialists.
The problem is that people define freedom differently, Ian. Mm-hmm. They don't all define it as the way we define it. So,
sure.
We define it as the ability to do what you want so long as you don't harm somebody else.
Yeah.
And really what I believe he's talking about is these, conservative types. And I do believe there's more conservatives in America than there are liberals. That the Democratic Party has plenty of people who are conservative, socially conservative, that vote for it. It's just that the Republican Party has done a dismally bad job of marketing to people of other ethnicities. And that I don't
Not
see
only
that
marketing to young people as well. From
well,
what I've
that's
seen.
the problem.
Yeah.
The reason you can't market to young people is the Republicans have basically excluded, in many
their friends,
their rhetoric. I should say this differently. They have given a platform in many cases to people who are clearly anti-gay, anti-ethnic, anti-whatever, that it's out there.
An unfun bunch of people.
Yeah, an unfun bunch of people, that's for sure. And you as a gay person, it doesn't really matter what the Democrats' politics are. You know that they hate you less. Right. Fine. And who cares if I'm gay? Does it make a difference? If I were gay, I would understand that the Democratic Party dislikes me less than the Republican Party does. So you can see that why they would choose the Democratic Party. And as somebody who may find their biggest issue, or one of their biggest issues, because a lot of people just vote a single issue. As their biggest issue may be people who are gay being treated fairly, well, they're liable to vote Democrat too, even if they don't believe the politics. Then the Democrats get to market their crappy politics to them.
So, if you want to reach people with the ideas of liberty, you can do it from the back of your car with libertystickers.com. You can reach thousands of people with a bumper sticker, and you know that people love to read them. So check out the vast selection of witty, poignant, pithy, and downright bombastic liberty-oriented messages at libertystickers.com. As we continue with your calls and thoughts, we go to the Discord on-air call-in line rooms, where Ala Loca is on the line from Orlando. Go ahead.
What's up, boys?
Hey.
Sorry if my internet in and out. I don't know why it's being bad, but
That's all right. We got you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to talk. Okay, great. I just want to talk about natural rights. I feel a lot of libertarians believe that they're born with natural rights, and I wanted to. Well, let me start off by saying I'm constantly learning as a libertarian, new ideas, and different philosophies. But I'm at the point right now where I'm learning about natural rights, and I believe that there is no such thing as natural rights. What do you guys think?
Well, can we define natural rights, or can you define natural rights?
Well, to me, I think people think that they're rights, like you're given rights. And I mean, I want to know who's giving you those rights, number one. I mean, some people would argue God or some higher being above gives. But at all that aside, who's giving you rights right now? Like,
yeah. All right. So you are dropping out on some packets here, but I think we've got the gist of the question is, if there are natural rights, where do they come from, basically?
Yeah.
Is kind of the idea. And you're saying you don't buy that these things exist because how could they have been given to you? Is that basically what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mark, what do you think about that?
I tend to like the notion of natural rights, but I don't tend to. It's not the same as a lot of people that report natural rights. All right, so I believe in a creator. And I believe that creator, believed in something called rights. I believe rights spring from self-ownership. That I own my car. I therefore have the right to drive my car. I can do the things with my car so long as I don't harm anybody else with it that I want to do. And that's the same is true with my body. And so because I have my body, I can choose to do what I want so long as I don't hurt anybody else in the process. And that, that is just a function of owning my body. So, yes, I do believe in natural rights.
I think you're basically saying you're willing to defend your rights end where your defenses will let it be. Like, you're willing to defend your life, you're willing to defend your car. I mean, up to a point, I assume. But your rights go up to how far you can defend it. Like my property rights. Who's to say someone can't come to my property and take something? It's only a mutual understanding that these lines belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. Otherwise, you're the one who has to defend your property if that other person doesn't understand and agree with the idea of property.
Sure, and
exactly.
that comes down to the fundamental question of what is ownership and what is property. And humans have disagreed on this, animals disagree on this, but ultimately we do sort of agree that there is territory. Right? Like, when you're not on your property, when you are on your property, and that this has been true for many, many thousands of years, that it's taken this long to simply come to the point that we can define property. And lots of people have died over different definitions of property up to this point, too. So I believe that property is sort of written into our DNA, but we are still determining what that means as a species.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know there's a lot of people who believe that they need government to protect their rights, and I'm not against that completely. I just think there shouldn't be any coercion. I don't even know how you pronounce that right now.
Yeah.
Yes, to defend that. You don't need that. Let's say, for example, if we had a private insurance company defending your rights, let's just say, if they weren't doing a good job, you can get rid of them. If you're all supporting this insurance company that's protecting your your so-called rights, if they do a poor job, you can fire them. Unlike government that we have now, like, that's why I feel like people have this misconception of, like, we can't live without government. I'm not saying there's not going to be any mutual agreements, because we just already agreed that.
Natural rights are a mutual agreement, or rights of any sort are a mutual agreement between people. I mean, I've got an article up here from CRF-USA talking about John Locke, who wrote in his second treatise of government that all individuals are equal in the sense that they are born with certain inalienable natural rights that he believed were God-given and can never be taken or ever given away. And then he lists a few of those rights, including life, liberty, and property. But that's just an idea, right? That's just what one man said, and he said this, and a lot of people agree, and it's a good idea. I mean, there are reasons why we have these ideas, because they help people. They help us get along with one another. They help us have a more productive society. The idea of property has been beneficial to mankind over time, and respecting the idea of property and respecting the idea of a right to life and to property and to liberty has helped humans. And to the extent that those ideas are disrespected, it harms humans. And so if we can come to a society in which people believe fully in these ideas of rights, not any kind of negating of it, like you're saying, Alaloka, that if the government, for instance, wasn't coercive, which we've never seen that in our lifetimes, but if the state somehow was like magically not to be a coercive entity, I would all of a sudden have no real objection to pretty much anything they did, because, like you said, we would be able to opt out of it. But in order for that to happen, we would have to change the paradigm of what people believe is acceptable as far as treating their neighbors is concerned. Is it acceptable to threaten with the violence of the government? As you were pointing out earlier tonight, Mark, the government is essentially a big gun that people fight over one another to try to get control of. Until people can let go of the desire to control their neighbor, then we're always going to have rights being violated. It's just going to be part and parcel of life until people can get over the desire to have somebody else live the way they want them to, I think.
I concur.
No, that was my point, and I'm glad that you got to that end point. That's what I wanted to get with this conversation, was for people to realize that we don't need the point of a gun to
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to let you go, Alaloka. You were good for a little while there, but it started cutting out there toward the end. Maybe check your Discord voice activation settings when you get a chance. Thank you for the call. All right. Otherwise, it was mostly good. But we got more coming up here. If you want to comment, you're welcome to join us here at 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We got a full hour to go here on this live Saturday edition of the show, whether you want to talk about rights or get back into this so-called Civil War concept. I mean, we got, 3 sentences into the Washington Post story about this. What are they saying about the Civil War?
What do they know about civil wars anyway?
It's Free Talk Live.
February is Heart Month. Every year for the month of February, to show our appreciation to Extendivite's faithful customers, we have a sale. If you would like to try Extendivite, now is the time to get a few months ahead and really give Extendivite the time to show you how it works. Most of Extendivite's long-term customers wait for this sale to stock up. People and doctors tell us about the unbelievable improvements that they have experienced in their overall health, not just the heart. Extendivite wants you to experience the power of these herbs. Get a 4-month supply for only $115 for either the capsules or tincture. Please take advantage of this once-per-year sale and get healthy for life. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or find us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Gold opened at $1,313 on Friday. Silver opened the day at $15.60, and Bitcoin was trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, input from the Southern Poverty Law Center plays a role in PayPal's blacklist decisions. Confirmation came during a recent Wall Street Journal interview with PayPal CEO Dan Schulman. In the interview, Schulman told the newspaper the SPLC is among groups both on the right and left that help PayPal make the decision to ban certain accounts. Schulman claims the company does a careful examination of the information provided, saying that while the SPLC has brought things, PayPal doesn't always agree, but apparently utilizes the controversial organization's input in some aspect of the decision-making process. According to a report from the Daily Caller, PayPal is not alone in SPLC involvement, as Amazon, Google, Facebook, and Twitter also look to the SPLC for input. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybravebotanicals.com. And right now, Liberty Beat listeners can save 10% on your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Your news now continues. As the remaining pockets of ISIS fighters faced imminent defeat in northeast Syria, the United States allegedly gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. Give us your massive caches of gold or die. The Free Thought Project, citing reports by Syrian state news agency SANA, reports that U.S. forces struck a deal with ISIS, whereby the terrorist group would give up 50 tons of gold in exchange for safe passage. The precious metal, worth about $2.13 billion, was plundered by the self-designated Caliphate, as its reign of terror spread across Syria and Iraq from 2015 to 2017. Turkish newspaper Daily Sabah Reports said local sources claim U.S. Army helicopters have already transferred the gold from the U.S. Forces base in Kobani, the Kurdish-controlled city that lies close to Syria's northern border with Syria. A portion of the gold was also distributed to the Kurdish People's Protection Units, which dominates the U.S. allied Syrian Democratic Forces. Saudi Arabia has stripped citizenship from Hamza bin Laden, the son of slain al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The Interior Ministry said in a statement published by the official gazette, Al-Qura. The U.S. State Department on Thursday said it was offering a reward up to $1 million for information leading to the identification or location in any country of Hamza, seeing him as an emerging face in his father's organization. The anti-media reports that the location of Hamza bin Laden has been the subject of speculation for years, with reports of him living in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, or under house arrest in Iran. Osama bin Laden was stripped of his citizenship in 1994. The junior bin Laden, who according to the United States is around 30 years old, has threatened attacks against the U.S. to avenge the 2011 killing of his father, who was living in hiding in Pakistan by U.S. Special Forces. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The dangerous winter storm Rocky is expected to pummel the Midwest throughout the day, with meteorologists predicting the blizzard will hit Kevin Hodges of Joliet, Illinois, the hardest, given the way his year's been going.
Yeah, we're stocking up on everything. I think school's going to be canceled. We're just glad we're not Kevin right now.
Joining us now is Jordan Blake in Chicago. Hello, Jordan. Just how crippling will this storm be for Kevin?
Well, we've already seen a lot of damage. Motorists in Kansas trapped in their cars on the freeway. That's nothing compared to the emotional damage Hodges can expect. Having to deal with a sick cat, frustrating new hours at work, and a confusing breakup all in the past 6 months.
You know, we're getting reports that he recently loaned $600 to a friend who has no intention of paying him back and slammed his finger in a car door last month. Does the National Weather Service have any advice for Kevin today?
Not much he can do. The sky is really vulnerable right now. Authorities are recommending that he just stay indoors and think about his mistakes.
That sounds like good advice. You know, he looks like a real sad piece of shit. Stay warm out there, Jordan.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian
and Mark.
Our number, if you want to join us and talk about a civil war, is 855-450 free. I don't buy it personally, and I don't want to see it. Secondly, but Dean and Mark here, 855-450 free like freedom. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open and available to you at discord.lrn.fm, so feel free to reach out to us that way. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us as we go to the phones and to your calls and thoughts. Of course, you can bring up anything. Let's talk to Mark in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Welcome. Doing great.
I just called. I've talked to y'all before.
Okay.
Thanks for the Bitcoin advice, by the way.
You're welcome.
But I spent 7 years in the Marine Corps, and I got to go all over Southeast Asia, you know, and see how, you know, things went in some of the other countries I went to, and the socialism thing. When I was in Russia was still the USSR, and that it's like that's what we have fought against since, you know, my dad was in World War II, and right after World War II was the Cold War, and I don't know if people know it or not, but the Nazis that was the National Socialist Party.
That's right.
You know, and then the Soviets was the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic.
Correct.
And I just, I mean, the Russians plan to the USSR rather, planned to take over the country without firing a shot through our education system and, and our youth. And I think they've done a pretty good job.
They've done very, very well. We've actually looked a couple times in the past at Free Talk Live over the last 16 or however many years it's been that we've been doing this now. We've looked at the Communist planks and the Communist Manifesto and kind of matched them up with the status quo in the United States. And what do we get, like 7 out of 10 or something like that?
Yeah,
Mark?
it's pretty high.
Yeah, but they've been implemented here fully.
I'm a history buff, and I don't know. My wife is a teacher, and she's thinks about things about like I do, but they don't teach that stuff in school anymore. They don't teach history at all. And
well, they teach their version of history.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
The one that lifts up the United States.
Social studies.
Yeah,
they changed it to social studies when I was in school.
I remember that. Yeah.
I'm a bit of a history buff too, and one of the things I find most interesting is the United States' greatest enemies are always people that we recently helped. The Soviet Union was, the United States went in and had troops on the ground in Russia during their red and white Russian Revolution thing that was going on there, and the Bolsheviks never forgave us for that, big problems after helping. Same with China. China was on our side in World War II. Then Mao comes along, and it just over and over again, whenever the United States helps, it seems to create more bigger enemies. And this is something, as a history buff, I like to point out to other history buffs whenever I get an opportunity.
Well, now, the Founding Fathers had the right idea, which was to say the U.S. should stay out of world conflicts.
And entangling alliances.
Yeah. And as you pointed out, it makes things worse to take a side.
Exactly. I can understand helping, like the situation in Venezuela right now, as far as with aid and stuff. But I was in Beirut when that was going on, and that was a joke, believe me. And
helping with sandwiches is a lot different than helping by sending in armed men.
Yeah, but when you're helping with sandwiches, it's just feeding one side in a civil war whenever you help, because the other side can never get them.
Well, but all that said, Mark, I don't think the government should be involved in any of that. I think that an individual, if you want to go down there and lend yourself to whatever movement or send money to whichever side that you think is valuable, that you think should win, or send food or whatever, then I think each individual should be able to make those decisions. Because then
I agree.
Then nobody can really easily be targeted. There's no one entity that did a thing. It's thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of individuals who could get behind or not behind somebody or some group.
But the thing that scares me, though, is it's no longer the Democratic Party. To me, it's the Communist Party, is what I see.
Some people are saying that they think the Democrats are going heavily to the left this year. Is that what you're seeing?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's nothing like it was 5 years ago. It scares me.
It's interesting.
I worry about it. I've got kids, and socialism does not work.
Well, I don't think that there's any. I think that these predictions of a civil war are overblown. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and all this. I do think that we can't live together. I think that people need to make a distinct choice of a place that is best for them, like a physical land mass that has the kind of people that they feel like they're more likely to get along with. So, socialist types ought to move out west to California or, Portland or whatever. The conservative types might want to move to Texas or something like that. The libertarians, the voluntarists, the liberty-loving anarchists ought to move to New Hampshire. And, we should try different things. Have people sort of make a point, deliberate migration towards other people of like mind. I think that's probably what's going to result in the most freedom for the people that want it and the least freedom for the people that don't want it in that case.
Well, I think most people are libertarian without knowing it.
I tend to agree.
I like that viewpoint, and I hope it's true. And I thank you, Mark, for your call tonight. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us.
By libertarian, I mean the sort of the greater, if they were to take the world's smallest political quiz, which you can take at quiz.freetalklive.com, they would come out 80-80 or above. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in that realm, they'd fall in this large it's not a quadrant because there's 5 areas, quadrant that we call libertarian on the Nolan chart. Not necessarily that they agree with me every issue, every time, and frankly, I don't know what I think. I only believe in science. I believe we need to be able to test these things, but I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, as you listen to my voice, you are not free to try a different form of government here in the United States.
Nope.
And you have to be free to be free. You can't claim to be free if you're not free. And if you have to pay, income tax and property tax and sales tax and all these other taxes to support one government while you try to create another, it's not going to work. Look, people have tried to create governments all over the United States. And sooner or later, the government rolls tanks in on them.
We continue here with more of your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE is our number. Dan is on the line listening to WIBC FM in Indianapolis. Hey, Dan.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
You had a fellow earlier, or just a little bit ago, talk about, or maybe it was you, that every country where our country goes in to try to help ends up with being a big enemy. I think it's intentional. I think our military-industrial complex makes a whole lot of money off of it. That's what I wanted to say.
I don't disagree that it's intentional. Can you tell me how it works? Because I just want a direction to look when I'm digging.
I wish I knew.
Okay. Yeah, you and I are in the same boat, floating around thinking, I think these people are trying to do this, but we don't know how. And I think the soldiers are duped. I think the commanders are duped. I think there's this elite cadre of weapons manufacturers that knows what they're doing, and the rest of us just don't know.
Yep, I'm gonna go.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate hearing from you. Thanks, brother. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733.
Yeah, I wish I knew the tactics. I just don't. I'm a student of history, but this isn't the kind of thing that gets written about.
All right, you can bring up whatever you want. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. We've got those Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They're open for you. In fact, somebody just jumped into one of them. We're going to get that person on. Your calls and thoughts also welcome. 855-450-FREE or discord.lrn.fm. It's the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live. More coming up.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Smart Cash is a peer-to-peer digital currency that is fast, secure, and easy to use. Smart Cash is building a foundation that can support daily transactions for people everywhere. One feature that sets Smart Cash apart is the Smart Hive governance model and how the community can vote to fund the best projects with block rewards stored in the Smart Hive project treasury. Unlike other cryptocurrencies with voting systems, Smart Cash allows everyone to participate. One smart equals one vote. Learn more at smartcash.cc.
You want to know the 37 items you must have to survive a crisis? Then I've got some good news for you. Former CIA officer and New York Times best-selling author Jason Hansen is now giving listeners a free copy of his book, The Escape Bag Blueprint, 37 items you must have to survive a crisis. You can claim your copy at freeescapebook.com. Don't delay. Jason reveals the guns, knives, flashlights, and water filters that could save your life in an economic collapse or grid-down event. Get your free book today, freeescapebook.com. freeescapebook.com.
For over 8 years, Gary Lightman has been the chief executive officer and guiding force behind tech company MediaMerge Incorporated. Lightman spoke to reporters this week about working his way up from his humble beginnings as a son of the previous CEO.
If you would have told me 10 years ago that I would someday be the CEO of my dad's company, I would have said, absolutely not. I mean, it feels like just yesterday that I started off as a senior executive at this company, and now I'm in charge of the place.
Lightman told reporters that he credits his continued success in business to a number of crucial moments in his career, including getting hired by his father's retirement, and a few lucky breaks in between.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was a lot of work. I was here for nearly 8 hours every day. Someone clearly saw my efforts and took notice. You know, a lot of young people ask for my advice, and I always say the same thing. Work hard, and it will lead to bigger and better things. That's what I tell my kids.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk live Saturday edition of the program. You dial in toll free, you bring up whatever you want, you take control of the airwaves. We can talk about this fear-mongering about the so-called Civil War. We still have that on the table to discuss. It's Ian and Mark here in the studio tonight, and you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. We've got video clips now, and I'm really happy about it. I'm glad that we got Eric Freerock to come back out of retirement from his cop block days. For people that don't know, Eric Freerock, one of the kind of old-school cop blockers, and he's a great video editor as well, and so he's taken video clips from the show, because we do a video version of the show. It's on Twitch right now over at twitch.lrn.fm. That's where you can watch it live, and you can of course watch it later on. We also have a YouTube channel, so there's video versions of the show. But honestly, sitting here looking at us in the studio, it's not that interesting visually to look at. So
he adds all kinds of video.
Right, he's adding video. He's adding still images, and really kind of jazzing up the show. Basically.
And these are things that are shareable. You don't have to consume a 2-hour radio program to get involved.
That's the idea.
Right, go over there, please, right now. Go to clips.freetalklive.com, clips.freetalklive.com, and subscribe to the channel. If we can get enough subscribers in there, it makes everything a lot better. So please, clips.freetalklive.com.
H. Reardon in the Discord chat says this guy Ian's talking about sounds like a Flintstones character.
Free rock.
Free rock.
Yes, it's funny.
Clips.freetalklive.com. We also are posting those clips. So as soon as they get uploaded to YouTube, that link shoots out to our social media, including our Twitter at twitter.freetalklive.com, our Mastodon at toot.freetalklive.com, and our Telegram channel at telegram.freetalklive.com. So whichever one of those you're following us on, whether you're subscribing to the YouTube channel itself, which is the Liberty Bits channel at clips.freetalklive.com, or those different social media, you will know where those clips are and how to find them and what the links are to share. And we would appreciate it if you do that. So we continue with your calls and thoughts here Let's go to Ferris, listening in Indianapolis to WIBC. Hello, Ferris.
Good day, fellas. Ferris Freud, checking in from Indianapolis.
Hi, Ferris. Go ahead.
World's number one most often and widely heard caller broadcaster in talk radio.
That is a big claim. You're the most often and widely heard caller broadcaster, so not just caller, but you're also a broadcaster?
When I call and talk with you, I'm broadcasting in the same fashion that you are.
True.
Am I right?
That's
correct. You're being broadcast.
True. It's all true. When it comes out of this mouth of mine, it's true. It's all true.
You're a broadcaster.
Credentials.
You're new to me, though,
educated,
Ferris, so I had
informed.
never heard of you before, except for that movie, which was really great, but I suspect you have nothing to do with that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Now, military intelligence officer, highly educated, very high IQ, member of Mensa. Just want to give my creds to your listeners so that they can weigh what I have to say.
All right, lay it on me.
Lay it on me. We're in Indianapolis because the Catholic Church.
What does that mean? I'm not in Indianapolis.
Being a guidance counselor. What?
I'm not in Indianapolis. Who's we?
We, Ferris and Friends on LinkedIn. Ferris and Friends.
Okay, and
is
because
a
of the
LinkedIn
Catholic
group
Church?
that goes around the country. We go around the country to enforce what's good and right and Christian. And what we've done is we fired a guidance counselor from the Catholic school in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Because she's lesbian.
Oh, boy.
And she does not deserve to be employed by the Catholic Church in the school because she is lesbian, because the Catholic Church understands that lesbianism and homosexuality are an abomination, and that type of abnormal behavior will not be held. And the Methodist Church last week told all the lesbians and homosexuals to take a hike and get out of the church, and there will be no more queer marriages in the Methodist Church, and that's why
Doesn't that mean they're just going to go to the Presbyterians then?
Let them go. No, what it does is it means
Yeah, let them go. By all means. Queer people of America, go to the Presbyterian Church. Go to the Quaker Church. There are churches that will welcome you, not just nut jobs like this guy.
Do I get to talk?
Yeah, Ferris, you've been talking the whole time. Ferris?
Yeah, but with you talking
Please.
over me, let me make my point.
No,
without
get to it, Smarty Pants.
Oh, I'm getting to it. The Methodist Church has distinguished itself, and that's where Christians are going because we cannot handle these.
I left the Methodist Church because they were a bunch of closed-minded a-holes.
What does it mean to be a Christian?
Hey, well, here's what it means. We're Catholics. We're Opus Dei Catholics. You ever know an Opus Dei guy?
Overstay?
I'm going to spell that O-P-U-S, Opus Dei, D-E-I.
Opus
It's Latin.
Dei.
You ever take Latin?
Oh, Opus Dei. Yeah, I read about that in James Brown, the book. Brown, I don't know what it was. I read it years ago.
So the militant lesbian movement is out to destroy Christianity, and they're doing a damn good job of it under the leadership of Mary Bonato of Maine.
What exactly?
Now, you're New
Wait a minute.
Hampshire,
Hold
right?
on. Whoa. Slow down. What exactly are the militant lesbians doing to successfully destroy Christianity and the Christian movement?
Oh, here, they gave you queer marriage in 50 states of your country. In other words, Mary Bonato was the founder of GLAAD, G-L-A-D. I'll give an explanation of Gay Lesbian Advocates and Defenders. And Mary
I'm sorry,
Bonato
how is
was
it
a
exactly
lawyer in
that...
Maine.
Wait, just hold on. I'm going to have questions for you, okay? If you are saying things, I have questions, and I want to have a conversation with you about it. Oh, you've got all the answers. Great. So you're the right person to talk to. Okay, so if lesbians are able if lesbians are able to get married, Ferris. So first, you have to listen in order to be able to respond to the question. So if lesbians are
listening. I'm all ears.
When you're talking, you're not listening. So by definition, if your mouth is moving and there's words coming out, you can't possibly be listening. It's impossible to do that. So let's try this now. Okay.
Go right ahead, bro. You can do
if what you're saying is that lesbians, by virtue of the fact that they can now actually get married and express publicly love for one another in a some sort of public or private forum or whatever, if they can get married, that's somehow damaging to Christianity, can you explain how that works?
Certainly is, because Mary Bonato engineered that so nicely right up through the Supreme Court that they've now got curriculum in the schools to send fisting kits into kindergartners.
Fisting kits? What? What did he say?
He said fisting kits, yes.
Can we describe what a fisting kit is?
No, I don't think we can describe that. There's certain things that we can't talk about on broadcast radio, and I think whatever a fisting kit is one of those things.
Well, I know, but I talked to Andrew Breitbart about it shortly before his death, and that's why his his murder was moved up by the communists. Because when he was,
how do you think the communists killed Andrew Breitbart?
Very easily. All you got to do is read the documentation.
Okay.
You know, the guy was how old?
Hold
how
on.
Old was,
I don't know how we got from gay marriage to fisting kids in kindergarten
to killing Andrew Breitbart.
But let's
oh God,
Ferris, let's just keep this simple.
I think that ship has sailed.
How is it that gay marriage is hurting Christianity? I don't understand that. Keep on topic here, please.
Gay marriage is not since. Let's use the term homosexual and lesbian marriages. Gay means merry, bright, and cheery. I'm gay. I am a gay guy. I'm merry, bright, and cheery.
Okay, man. Call it whatever you want. Homosexual marriage. How is that hurting Christianity? He totally just dropped off the line.
The communist got his ass.
I don't know what happened there. If that was the technical difficulty, you're welcome to try calling back or call back any other night. I still want the question answered. I don't understand how it is two people doing the thing over here with each other has an effect on your religion.
My heart is heavy that such a sparkling intellect has just been snuffed out by the communists in such a way. I mean, I gotta say that these gay and lesbian people that took this man out in such an evil fashion, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
More on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We've also got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. The Discord chat has been invaded tonight by people who think they're going to be able to cause some trouble, it looks like. Sometimes things get a little dramatic in there, but that's why we have moderators, and that's why we have the Troll Zone. Yes, that's right, a channel dedicated specifically for people who cannot get along with others. So if that's you, and you reveal yourself as somebody who cannot get along well with others at all, like your intention is to make a mess out of our on-air now room, you will be put into the Troll Zone, and then you'll meet James.
You think you think you know what it's like to troll. You don't know nothing, buddy.
So go on to our Discord server. It's usually a pretty cool place to be over at discord.lrn.fm. Ian and Mark here in the studio tonight. Again, discord.lrn.fm. Let's go to the phones and to the fun here, starting out with Charles in Daytona Beach, listening on YouTube. Go ahead, Charles.
Hey there, man. This is my first time actually tuning into the stream here, and so your guys' Discord is under attack or something.
We'll see about that. Now you're on the radio, right? So there's certain things you can't say on the radio, or else we have to use our magic dump machine on you.
Do you know what a dump machine is?
Absolutely, man.
Do you know what a dump machine is?
Nah, not at all.
Okay, let me explain it to you before you go on and say a variety of words that you can't say on the air. We have a magic time machine that moves us 7 seconds back in time. So if you say one of the words, we will drop you, then we will dump you, and the things that you say will not appear on the radio. Go right ahead, sir.
All right, what were you calling about?
Oh, no, the dump machine. That's funny. I never heard of that name for it, but I use the same. I stream on Twitch, and unfortunately, you kind of get these people that come in, and they like to request stuff, and it's a real pain. But but yeah, I know a few people. Also, interesting call you guys had earlier about the what do you say, the lesbian militant.
Militant lesbians were destroying Christianity was the claim of the caller. He never backed it up with anything, but that was his claim.
Yeah. It was just I mean, it's just weird, I feel like, these days in these countries you get, I see a bit of a more divide, and, everyone likes to talk about it, but I mean, you got people that can be as far left or as far right, such as that guy. I mean, just earlier I'm saying, I'm around I used to be around the Texas area, but I moved to Daytona Beach, but I still go back and forth. And a couple months ago I went to Corpus Christi, and they had I don't know if you're familiar with them, the Black Israelites.
Aren't they the ones that were yelling at that kid
the kids
Washington,
in D.C.
with the manga hat on?
Yeah, very, very rude rude people, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, I was getting picked up by a friend. I was like, listen, man, you just go away from that, because they, unfortunately, he is Jewish, and they're not too.
They're not friendly to anybody. I mean, from what I can understand, from what we could tell with that situation in D.C., they're mean to Jewish people, black people, anybody that's not in their group. They basically don't like them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, they just. It's just an interesting thing. I actually know a guy who is quote unquote in the group, but he's actually he's mixed. He's half black and half white, so it's a bit odd that he would align himself with this group that believes in, you know, I guess black supremacy and him being mixed. And that's kind of what I was bringing up is everyone talks about like a civil war or a race war. It's just, to me, it's interesting. Like, where do excuse me, where do the mixed people sort of fall in?
Yeah, where do you draw the lines? And I think that's an interesting question. And thank you, Charles, for the call tonight. And that's why I don't think that there's any potential for any kind of a race war. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just people are mixed. People are, you know, friends with one another. I think for the most part, people are over racism. Yes, there are still racists.
Oh, there's
yes.
certainly people who are angry about race.
Yeah,
you know.
But there are still racists on you know, various different sides of things. There's no doubt about it. And yes, those racists now may have the ability to communicate better than ever. You know, they have the internet to kind of bring themselves together with one another, and they can have their own podcasts and their own chat servers or whatever it is they want. But at the same time, I don't think that just because they can be louder now than they've been in the past means that they're any more relevant or means that they're any more, you know, noteworthy or worthy of being talked about or anything like that.
They are certainly driving politics in some ways. I mean, most of the Democrats out there will state Trump's not the problem; it's the people he's brought out of the woodwork that are the problem, and so therefore they're being driven by the politics of racists. I mean, they're allowing racists to control their lives. It's amazing.
Let's go to Charles in North Carolina, listening online. Go ahead, Charles.
Hey, how's it going? I'm watching on Twitch right now.
Thanks, Charles.
You know, the guy that called in earlier with the stupid lesbian stuff, like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, you can't say that on the radio, so we're going to have to hit the dump button on you. And he was on hold while that other caller was on, so, you know, he got the explanation unless he wasn't paying attention that you can't say the F word on the radio. Sorry. Hello, Twitch audience. Welcome to the show. It seems like we've had an influx of viewers perhaps tonight.
Welcome,
on
Twitch audience.
Welcome.
This is the real radio, and you may not even listen to one. Maybe when you're in your mom's car.
Maybe when you're in your mom was pregnant with you, you heard it through her belly.
Right. That was a radio, and on the radio, you can't say a variety of words. One begins with an F. One begins with an S. Two of them begin with C's.
C, yeah. Yeah,
don't
we got
use those words.
33 whole viewers on Twitch tonight, which is unusually, you know, heavy for our Twitch channel.
Yeah, we're being watched by the Twitchers. Hello.
Yes. So welcome to the show here. We do a broadcast radio show, and that's one of the other things they love to complain about in the Twitch chat room is you guys need to get rid of the commercials. Like, sorry, we're on the radio. Commercials come with radio broadcasts. In this world.
Just the way that goes.
Yeah. So we'll take your calls, your thoughts about what you want. He's flea market penguin on the line on our Discord server. Hello there.
Hey guys, I just wanted to call. I'll make it quick. You guys said some really real stuff that, you know, when we had the American Revolution, you know, we overthrew the Americans at the time overthrew one set of rich people, and you know, the next group of people weren't so much better because it was just another group of elites controlling. And then also, you know, you were saying that the military, the war and welfare state basically is basically a massive wealth transfer to the elites and everything. And it's just important to realize that when you say opposition to the state, you're not using the word government for a reason. The word government, you know, the government is is politicians and bureaucrats. It's bureaucracy. And the government is powerless without the state, the banks, the resource industries, the heavy manufacturing, the telecommunications. So obviously those things all kind of form the state, and they exist for each other in a mutual relationship. That's why you have to use Bitcoin to get out of the banks, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we all want decentralized solutions to all these interactions that we do with the tentacles of the state. But what I wanted to talk about is in regards to the race war thing is all these people calling in, these statists, you know, calling in and saying, oh yeah, we're going to have a civil war because they just daring their political opponents to make a first move so they can have a shooting war and shoot all the people they disagree with, they don't like. You know, it's dumb. Are we really going to shoot each other because of a marginal tax rate, or because of trans rights, or because of people's race or whatever's on TV? Absolutely not. I mean, that's not the issue at hand. That's not the real issue that's hurting our country, hurting our freedom, and dropping us further and further down the freedom rankings. It's not, you know, we can have all the, like you said, we can have all the we have the right to guns. We have the right to free speech. We have that because, the state says, we can have that much. But, I mean, what's the real source of the problem? It's certainly not Democrats or Republicans. They're not going to shoot each other. There's no way.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Not going to happen. There's way too much to enjoy about life than, starting some sort of a violent race war out there. I think over time people are coming together more so. I mean, as far as getting over racism, I think that's something that we can get past. Maybe not in this lifetime, but maybe in the next couple of generations or so. Thanks for the call tonight. There's more coming up here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynavite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Hello, I am looking for a special soul from the GCN audience to hire to come to East Ridge, Tennessee and take care of 2 peaceful, easygoing people, which are a sweet 95-year-old woman and her 60-year-old son. Terms would be free room and board, plus the use of all of our facilities here at home, in exchange for living with us and seeing to our needs. We must have someone that fits in well. We get along with most anybody and value those who like to do the same. We live in a suburb of the scenic city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Please email Matt at peaceaboveall.net for additional information. Please include your informal resume stating your strengths and weaknesses and reasons you would make a dedicated caregiver. We would also offer to negotiate a nominal salary in addition to everything else. Again, please email matt@peaceaboveall.net. Thanks for responding.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We might have time to get you on tonight. It's Ian here with you.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can support the show like Jay Lawrence has done. Jay is a Free Talk Live amplifier at the silver level, which means he's doing $5 a month to the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's a way for you to help us get Free Talk Live on more radio stations around the country. Bring new internet listeners on board with the show. We got a couple new progressive talk stations on board with us this week because Norman Goldman quit doing his show, and there's no more than a handful of progressive talk shows in the United States right now. So the handful of progressive stations that are left needed somebody, and we were there to help. So we're on board with a couple new progressive talkers, which is fun.
Since we're libertarian, we're less distasteful than the Republicans.
That's right. Well, we agree with them on some things, just like we agree with some of the Republicans on some things as well here on Free Talk Live. So we continue with your calls and thoughts. Let's go to Reed listening in Daytona Beach. Hello, Reed. You're on Free Talk Live. Reed?
Oh, what's going on?
Hey, we're on the radio.
Hello.
Go ahead with your thoughts, please.
Oh, yeah. So, my little thing about the, the Civil War conspiracy that I don't really see it happening. America, we won't, disagree to a point where we would have to go to war over something like that. I actually kind of,
I know.
We don't know because you haven't said it yet. Sorry.
Back in 2016, when Donald Trump was, the presidential election and stuff, America was divided heavily politically.
True.
During that point. And, I saw, the progressives, the far left Democrats, they were basically, shunning Donald Trump, basically saying, oh, he's all this. And then you have, these groups like Antifa, they were getting light. And then you had all the media, they were basically, shunning Donald Trump so much. And, I actually thought it was going to get so bad to a point where it was going to be a civil war.
But it didn't.
Now, no, it never did. If there was a civil war in America, it would look kind of like Syria because, unlike the last civil war we had, which wasn't even a civil war in the first place, it was a full-fledged actual military combat because it wasn't internal.
Okay.
There were two certified nations. But, it was
interesting viewpoint.
You'd have all these different you'd have all these different factions, all these different viewpoints. You'd have the communists, the anarchists, the far left Democrats, the moderate Democrats, the libertarians sitting back and selling arms to everybody because they're all for the free market economy.
The libertarians that sell all the guns to the people in the Civil War.
That's what the United States should have done between Hitler and Stalin, just sell them arms and let them kill each other.
Thanks for the call, Reed. I appreciate hearing from you. Let's go to Rev. He is on the line, watching us on Twitch over at twitch.lrn.fm. Go ahead, Rev.
Yeah, hey, I wanted to talk about how obesity, the prominent obesity in this country, is by far the most, unfortunately, effective deterrent to any effective revolution.
So what are you saying? People are just too lazy, and so therefore they don't want to get up off the couch to do something?
Yeah, they're too fat, they're too lazy. Let me tell you something right now. And I've been drinking a little bit with the Jim Beam, okay? But I'm going to tell you something right now.
You've been on hold for 2 hours.
Yeah, you know what I did? I put the phone on speaker because I'm like, I'm not going to be a retard and just like, oh, I'm butthurt. Like, dude, it's good to see the show this busy. And Mark, as you know, good to talk to you, by the way, Mr. Mark. I did not hit her, Mark. I did not hit her. Like that terrible YouTube movie. You look like Lee Ermey. I like that crew cut.
He does. You're right about that.
Ermey?
R. Lee Ermey, the guy from he's been in so many movies. Yeah.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket.
Wow,
yeah.
Do you blank? Yeah. Hey, listen.
Rest in peace, by the way. R.I.P. Because he passed away. I think last year or the year before that.
Yeah, he was kind of young to die anyway.
He was. Well, you're right about that. He always looked so much older than he actually was. Like he
looked. I don't want to
looked.
say that about Mark. Come on, Queen. You're mean. Dear girl. Ow. Mark's
Mark only just now started looking like R. Lee Ermey with a new haircut. He's got a new haircut.
Hey, tell Mark that a borderline Nazi borderline fascist monarchist, like cross between a libertarian and Nazi is listening to a Free Talk and is already a big fan of Call to Freedom and questioning authority. Anyway,
why would I tell Mark that? He's sitting right here.
Yeah, no, I know. It's dumb of me to relay that. Listen, the point is, by the way, that Christian guy, he's a bigger butthole than the Muslim butthole. Okay, they're bigger buttholes because they push gays off buildings and stone women to death, and of course the stupid LGBTQ morons say, oh yes, we love them, they're our friends, and they want to stone you to death, moron. That's why I myself, as a somewhat a queer person, mostly with gender, don't even associate with them anymore. But anyway, you
somewhat queer.
End the show. Huh?
You're somewhat queer.
Yeah, somewhat with the gender. You've seen how. Yeah, I can't say the other word because I'll get blocked with things.
All right, Rev. Thanks for the call.
I don't make.
Huh?
No.
Thanks for the call.
I'm not sure what just happened. But he did not use any of the words that he could not use.
He didn't.
Hear that, boys on Twitch?
Despite how drunk he might have been, he didn't say things he wasn't supposed to say.
It's a marker of adulthood.
Let's go to somebody else who's technically an adult. Sarah in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello.
Yes, you know this new gun control law? Pretty much
Which one?
knew that it was
Which one?
Well, they passed the FDA. They passed like 3 different laws.
Do you mean the New Mexico ones?
Yeah, the New Mexico ones.
The ones that the sheriffs are publicly refusing to obey, that they're refusing to enforce? Those?
Right. Yeah, right. Those. I think there's about 26 counties now.
Yeah.
But I pretty much knew from the get-go it was never going to go anywhere. I knew this rejection was going to happen. Do you know how I knew?
No.
Well, the red light camera tickets, they tore it up, they spit in it, and they used it to start fireplaces. That's what they used it for.
Hold on. The sheriffs didn't tear up the red light camera tickets. Who's they?
No, the people here.
Okay.
When they got the red light camera tickets, they tore it up.
Good.
And they used it to fire starters, at the fireplaces.
Smart. That's efficient.
I don't know if it's smart, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's putting it to good use, It's a piece of paper.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Start a fire.
My whole point is that they make a law and they tear it all up. They don't obey.
Yeah, ignore that crap.
So
that's what more people need to do.
Good people ignore bad laws, Sarah.
Absolutely, Sarah. So are you a good person or not?
Well, what I'm saying is, why would they follow this gun control law? Well, okay, just because it was passed and the governor signed it doesn't mean nothing to the people of New Mexico, because they've had guns any way they want for the last 100 years.
Yeah, so ignore that crap. That's what people ought to do, is just ignore bad laws. Thank you, Sarah, for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Because you're right, Mark. That is what good people are supposed to do. Which comes back around to that conversation we had earlier in the show where this one guy was saying that he believed that there was going to be some kind of a war between socialists and people that just want to be free. And I said, I'm not sure how many people just want to be free. And he says, oh, there's a bunch of them out there. They're laying low, waiting for the right time. And this, I think, is a mistake. If it's true that there are all these people out there who just want to be free and they're laying low, how about instead of waiting for some sort of violent shoe to drop, for the shots to begin being fired, for your time to rise up in violence against whoever it is that you're going to rise up in violence against, how about instead of that, if there are that many of these people out there, how about they just stop obeying the bad laws? How about just don't obey? How about clog the system? Throw yourselves into the gears of the system and make it so it just grinds to an absolute halt, because nobody will obey all these bad laws. They won't obey the stupid business regulations that keep them out of business or keep them from competing. There's so many things that people could do before going to violence. There's so many more options besides there's the ballot box and then the cartridge box, right? No, there's also non-cooperation. There's also civil disobedience. There's refusal. There's when it comes to from the states to the federal government, there's nullification. There's a lot of different options where people can say no. You don't have to just hide out and obey, because that's what they're doing when they're hiding, right? They're going along to get along. They're not popping their head up above the waves so they can have it cut off. And I don't blame somebody for doing that. But I don't think it's going to be a success if you're waiting for that right moment to make things violent, because then you're just going to maybe displace one government and then build a whole new one right in its place, because you use the very same tools that you didn't want used against you, which was violence.
It's called a revolution because it revolves.
Goes back around to the beginning.
Right. We need something new.
Exactly. So we'll talk to you tomorrow whenever we come back. 7 o'clock Eastern Time. It's when we start the show. Meantime, you can join us online over at freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with the weekend edition of the Liberty Beat for the week ending March 1st, 2019. Gold opened at $1,313 on Friday. Silver opened the day at $15.60, and Bitcoin was trading around $3,830. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, input from the Southern Poverty Law Center plays a role in PayPal's blacklist decisions.